now it's really dark. Alright. Alright, I apologize for the darkness and also for a lot of moving around. We had a lot of snow here in Salem, so unfortunately I'm not at the museum, and I wasn't there all day. We had a snow day at the museum. What did I want? I apologize for the blowy noise in the background. That the heat in my house is very loud. So basically today for this ritual, it's gonna be just me in my house, and so you get to join me here and see how it is that I work. Most of the people that work at the World of Witches Museum are Corellian, and so you'll notice that a lot of the rituals that we do in Pitchabig Temple are Corellian rituals. But I personally am not Corellian. I mean, I love the Corellians. They're fantastic. I love working with them. They're a really nice bunch of people. But that isn't really my take on the whole thing. So I'm more of a solitary. And you don't need to be in a group in order to practice magic. You can do it by yourself. And I generally do. I don't enjoy doing ritual with a whole group of people. I like to get my energy work on by myself. And so that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. I'm going to be showing you guys how I do a ritual in solitary practice. As a solitary, I'm not really big on the whole casting the circle, calling the element, and this whole kind of ceremonialist type of doing a ritual. I'm a little bit more laid back. They know who they are. They know when I'm talking to them. And if I'm doing magic work, they're going to be with me anyways. I like to integrate my spirituality into everything that I do. And so you can see that tonight with what I'm wearing. I like to integrate kind of everything that I do into my ritual work as well. So I'm wearing a nice green shirt tonight because my working is going to be to get rid of all this snow that we have and to kind of bring this idea of spring into manifestation, because we've got Imbolc or Candlemas coming up in just 13 days, I believe, give or take. And then I've got a really, but I will show you. I've got a really colorful skirt on as well, and so you see all the flowers and all the patterns there, and I feel like even what you dress and what you wear during ritual kind of gets you in the mindset of what you're about to do. Alright, so basically my ritual tonight is going to be getting rid of the snow, bringing in the spring. And the way that I'm going to do that is by making tea. It's going to be basically a spell crafting rather than a ritual. And so I'm going to start off with a pot full of snow. This is just a saucepan. It has a lot of snow in it. And anybody who wants to do this along with me, they can totally join in, either with snow, or if you just want to grab the tea kettle and make some tea with me, just to join in on the meditation. Alright, so it's gonna be kind of like a cooking show tonight. So I'm melting the snow down. And while I'm melting the snow down, I'm going to use it as a visualization for the snow outside. I'm going to watch the snow melt, and you guys will watch it melt with me, and I'll visualize all the snow melting outside, just like it would do on a nice spring day. As the days start getting longer and the winter starts melting away, I'm going to use this microcosm to work that macrocosm. That way is my outside, just so that you guys know, so you see the directions that I'm kind of moving in here. And then I'm going to make a tea. And I'll get to that in a second. But see, it's already started melting, just like it would at the beginning of spring. Making all kinds of fun pitter-patter noises. It's really, stuff like that. But another thing that also happens around this time of year is the animals start making babies, and we start getting, specifically in the Celtic tradition, it has this idea of being when the sheep are starting to lactate. And so we have all these butters and these various dairy products coming into use. So I'm also going to have that as part of it by having a little bread and butter to go with my tea. And so I've got the bread, I've got the butter, and this is going to represent all the good things that I want to come with spring, all the wonderful projects that I want to come into fruition and nourish me for the spring. And so there we go. And so then this piece of bread, because I've put the butter on it with the intention, is going to represent all these projects that I want to manifest, and once I eat it, it'll be internalizing that stuff. Good time. And checking on the snow, it's almost all melted. You can see it's almost all melted. It's all water. Water. And so then I'm going to bring that to a boil to make some tea. I don't think I have enough water. I'm going to get some more now. I don't think I have enough water for the tea. So I'm just going to add some water to it to ensure that I have enough. And then for my tea, I've got this really nifty thing called a tea posy. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a tea posy. But basically it's this little ball of tea. I don't know if you guys can see this really well. Tea posy. It's this little ball of tea. And what's going to happen when I put the hot water in this is it's going to kind of unfold. And right now it kind of looks like a seed. So when I put it in the hot water, and the hot water is going to help it unfold, and it's going to open up and it's going to look like a flower inside. So this also has to do with after the snow melts, like we did with the pot, all the plants are going to come back to life. And this also goes back to the same idea as the bread and all of the wonderful things about spring and kind of bringing this life back. So, and just so that you guys see, I put it in a glass jar. Alright, so that is still boiling. While it's boiling, I'm just going to clean up a little bit. Because, you know, you also have cleaning with spring, getting rid of the old, getting rid of all that stuff. So, it's another good intention that I want to have in there. So you'll notice that I didn't actually call any of the elements in. We've got water in the water for the tea. We've got fire, which is the element that's going to be heating up that water, which is going to be part of this idea of spring coming in. We've got earth with the tea and the bread. And we've got air with me talking to you. As well as the thoughts and intentions which are going in it. So we have all of these things. And then once we've got all of these things together, and the tea is finished and ready and kind of steeping, we're going to go over to the altar and I'm going to bring all these things to the god and the goddess. We're still boiling. This might have been a bad call. I don't know. Got the little bubbles coming up there. And so that's bringing in that energy. Nice warm energy. And anybody who's doing this along with me, you can feel kind of the heat coming off the stove or the microwave. When you take it out, you feel the heat coming off of it. And so use that energy that you're feeling towards the outside. So while we're doing all this isn't just making tea, it's also bringing it to the outside. Another thing that I've got here for the tea is some honey, and that's to sweeten it. Honey is a really great um, ingredient for spell work. I absolutely love it. To sweeten any working, so because without giving or working any specific kind of track to go, it's just going to do exactly what you tell it to, and so the honey kind of mellows it out. I love using it to smooth over a situation. Um, and so in doing it and bringing it into this idea of spring and getting rid of all this wintry stuff, it'll make it, instead of a harsh melting of the snow where just floods happen and all of these really nasty melting related things, this will ease that so that it's a nice, slow, gradual thing. And so it'll make it a little bit more fun. Oh, and we got boil. So the boiling water is that energy of spring, that nice warmth coming out, fire energy in the water from the frozen energy of snow. I'm going to put it in there with the tea. This is the fun part where the tea starts to open up. I don't know if you can see it. And so while I'm probably going to put the honey in there while we're seasoning to that. Sweeten it out. Mellow it out. You don't have to use honey if you don't want to. I just like it. And so, with the spell work done, let's go bring it to the god. Alright, so again, sorry for the movement. I'm taking you out of my kitchen and bringing you to the altar staff. So, there we go. You guys can see me looking at you. Alright, so this is where the magic happens, obviously. So this is where I do pretty much all of my magic work. This is my altar. I've got a whole bunch of stuff over here for the god. I've got a whole bunch of stuff over here for the goddess. And for ritual tonight, I busted out my god and goddess labyrinth that I got from over on Zell. Lots of fun here. I'm just going to light this because fire energy is going to be something that's very important for this time of year. Nice warm hearth. Be very careful when you use open flame, especially at home. I know it looks like it's kind of close to this mirror, which isn't good. So keep things away from the flammable things. Always a good idea. And so I have a lot of fire going on here because that's the season that we're in. We've got this warmth of home as well as this warming idea with the fire. So very important for the season. And the tea cozy has bloomed. So you can see that there. You see that it looks kind of like a flower in there. And that also has to do with the season. Yay, magical tools looking nice for spell work. Alright. So, and now, I specifically have my altar set up in this sort of way because I don't do so much the worship. I talk with them. I work with the gods. And so when I work with the gods, I like to hang out with the gods. So it's a seat so that I can sit with the gods and talk with them and kind of share my intentions. And you can't see my head. Share my intentions with them and share my meal with them because that's how families work. And gods gods like to hang out with you, just like you like to hang out with them, and so I'm here sharing the foods that I have blessed and consecrated and turned into spells with them. So while I'm eating this, so are they. So I've got my bread and butter here. That's Wesley, sorry. He gets grumpy. Yeah. So I've got the bread and butter here, which represents all the good things that are going to come to fruition in the spring. And so here we go. I'm going to ingest this to bring the magic. And anybody out there that made this too, this would be the time that eating would happen. Come here, Wesley. Come here, dog. And he can have some too. So that his hopes and dreams will be manifested. Alright. And then we have our melted down snow with the tea posy. And it's nice and warm. And so then we're going to internalize this warming up and getting ready to go for the spring. Very hot. And the best part about drinking warm tea is that you can kind of feel it going down into your body. And when you feel it going into your body, it makes it easier to visualize the warmth from spring going into the earth. Just as the tea is going into your body and warming you from the inside out, imagine the sun warming the earth and the earth warming from the inside out. Because our bodies are an extension of the earth. And thusly what we do to ourselves, we also do to the earth, and vice versa. And so, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my tea with my gods, and we'll see you guys next week.